Okay, so introductions are out of the way. As you can see, I am smoking at this moment. I warned you about that in part two. Today, what we're gonna be, what I'd like to talk about actually is some of the stuff I've done in my past. Is start off before, the pre-MS stuff. Some stories, things like that, stuff I've done, what more information about me. That's what this video is going to be. So, first of all, I'm 30 years old. I'm 30 years old. My name's Charles Smith. I'm a Leo, if you must know, ladies. So, I look a lot older than I really am. No, I mean, I look a lot younger than I really am, unless, of course, I'm using my cane during the day. Then you kind of go, what the fuck is this guy doing? He should have a fedora on going, my lady. But, it is what it is. Some of us look young, some of us look old. That's how it works. I'm 30 years old. I went to high school in a rural community. Very few, minimal amount of students in my class. I think I graduated with about maybe 100 tops, and about 10% of them were either pregnant or had already had a baby before they even graduated. And then after we graduated, more than 10% of us were dead out of freak accidents. Smoke break. So, after I graduated high school, I did a lot of theater in high school, if you can't tell by how animated I am and how, I do a lot of stupid shit. I did a lot of theater in high school. I love doing it. I love doing theater. I love doing, musical theater. I love singing. Maybe I'll sing for you guys in a future video if you ask. Yeah, I did all that kind of stuff. And my memory was awesome back in the day. I could memorize whole episodes of South Park, whole episodes of Family Guy. I'd be watching it once, and then I'd be quoting it the next time it was on with somebody else, and that would annoy fucking everyone. So I was that douchebag. But after high school, during high school, preface it by this, there was me, there was my friend Nikki, and there was my friend Sam. We always hung out all together. I had several other friends and whatever, but the story's about them is really what it is. We were always together in middle school and high school. I was right next door to Nikki's locker because we had the same last name, Smith. Good luck finding us. But after we graduated, my friend Sam, he was really smart. He was like super smart. He was so good at robotics and computers and everything. He had like a full ride to MIT coming for him. Like, he was all paid for. It was all good and whatever. And then during the summer after we graduated, he decided to get there's some speculation whether they were just driving or whether they were racing, but it doesn't really matter. Either way, they were driving, and they hit he went off the road, he hit a power pole. And this power pole was, he was fine from the accident, from the actual initial hit. He was okay. He got out of his car, and he said, "That was awesome!" Because that's the way he was. Like, no matter what, no matter how bad it was, he always had a great outlook on life and everything. I loved the kid. The kid was awesome. He was one in a million, is really what he was. And so he got out. He goes, "That was awesome!" Because the adrenaline junkie. And then the line from the power pole got loose, and it came down and it hit him. He was electrocuted instantly. This actually happened in front of my aunt's house. My aunt lived in the area where he crashed, and she came out, saw he was on the ground, the electrical wire all around, and she ran out there, didn't even give a shit about the power lines. She's a nurse. She loved taking care of people. And she tried to do CPR on him. Didn't work. He was gone. He died. And I got a call from my aunt because she knew we were friends once she found out who Sam was. So she called me, told me that what had happened, that he had passed, and the whole situations. And I actually told my mother, I said, we need to go out there now. We need to go out and see what's going on. We need to be there. So my mother drove me out there. We get there, and the firefighters have it all cordoned off, and we're just outside the lines of where everything is. And I can see them loading his body in a body bag into the ambulance, and the smell in the air, it was still there. There was I was in the Army as well too. Let's go into that. So I was in the Army as well too, and you know how drill sergeants like to mess with you, right? And so one of the things they like to do, and that I've heard that they like to do this numerous times, is they like to get up all in front and say, "Have any of y'all seen a dead body? Have any of y'all smelled the smell of burning rotten flesh?" You know, to try and freak us out and everything. And so they did that to us. And I said, yes, I have. And that, it's not funny, but that just made them stop in their tracks. They go, moving on! And go right on to whatever they were doing. They stopped doing their whole try and scare us routine. But so that night, I got to experience and learn what a electrocuted, burning flesh smelled like. So traumatic, right? Very, very traumatic. And so we had to deal with that. We had to deal with that funeral and everything. And I had to break the news to some of my friends, just a few other people. Mostly everybody heard about it before the night, but I had to break the news about it to several of my friends. And they, I had to be strong during the funeral and whatever, and we all did that. And then the next month, we were going into college. Yeah, so we started college. Freshman year of college. I went to SUNY Oswego, go Lakers, and it's really weird to do a sports, yay, go Lakers thing right after you're talking about a dead friend. But hey, I did it. And so, I had a group of friends there that also went to the same college as I did from high school. So we were close. We, of course, you stick with them because you already know them. And so we, we hung out and everything like that. And then one day I get a call from my mother. And my mother says, "Charlie, Nikki's dead." And I said, "That's not funny, Mom. That's not funny. Don't be joking about that. What's going on? Why are you saying this?" And she goes, "No, I'm not kidding. Nikki is dead. She was shot in the head with a shotgun by her boyfriend." So that took me a while to process, and since I was the first person to know on campus, most likely, I got the distinction of having to find my friends from high school who also knew her and tell them what had happened if they hadn't already been called by their family. And I had to be strong for them and strong for everybody else. We went to her funeral. We handled that. She was Wiccan. If you're against Wiccan or whatever, I don't care what religion you are. Doesn't bother me. Do you. Be happy. Whatever. So she was Wiccan. So her family had a Wiccan priestess do the funeral. A mutual friend of ours from high school. She's a pastor's daughter. Is what she was. She's a pastor's daughter. And this is the only time I've been ever even this close to wanting to beat the living shit out of a woman. She went to the wake, and then we went outside for a little bit before the funeral started, and she comes up to me, the preacher's daughter, and says, "I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm just just so sorry I couldn't save her soul. I was red. I was red. I couldn't stand it. I was so mad. And so I told her, I'm like, you need to leave. You know, that's it. We're done. You know, and I went back inside, and we had the funeral with the Wiccan priestess, and I got up there and spoke and everything, and trying to be strong for all my friends and family and everything like that. And so we dealt with that. And then about a month later, I had a dog from when I was little. We'll go back. We're going to Tarantino this thing. We're going to go back, and then we're going to go back forward, okay? So, I had a dog since I was little. It was a Shetland sheepdog, is what he was. My mother, one Christmas, all she wanted was a Singer sewing machine. Dad said, honey, can I please have a Singer sewing machine? She wanted to fix our pants, because I'm a short guy. I'm like 5'3", 5'4" on my license. So she wanted the Singer sewing machine. Dad and I go out shopping. We go out to the mall. Singer sewing machine, $300. We go to the pet store, because I wanted to look at the pets. I saw this little Shetland sheepdog. So cute. The coloration, perfect. Little baby. And I said, I want him, Daddy, I want him. And so my dad got him. So we drove home. And then Dad goes, we bring him in the house. And we say, Dad puts the dog in my arms. And then I go up to my mother and say, Mom, we got you your Singer. We named the dog Singer after the sewing machine that my mom wanted and would not be getting that Christmas. Needless to say, my mother didn't talk to my father for about 2 or 3 weeks. So that was not a good thing. But so I'm little. I've had this dog forever. And he's getting old. And you know what happens when your dogs get old. You know, he started having trouble with his health and everything like that. So when I was away at college, my father decided it was time to put him down. So he put him down. However, none of the family decided to call me to let me know that they had put my dog down, to be there with him maybe in his last moments, or where they had buried him, or anything. So needless to say, after all these 3 things happening, and basically one every month, I was severely distraught, severely upset. And I was underage at the time. I was 18. I was 18 at the time. And, people always pressure you in college to go get drunk or drink with your friends and XYZ. But, so after all 3 of these things happened, I said, fuck it. I'm gonna get fucking hammered. Screw this shit. I'm gonna get hammered. This is bullshit. And so we drinking with a couple of friends of mine, and, all girls, because I always hang out with girls. Don't know why. I'm not gay, by the way. Bi, but not gay. And then, so we're drunk, and I don't remember a lot of it. I blacked out. I drank a lot. The only thing I remember is I must have gotten a bloody nose during the drinking some point in time, because I went to the bathroom. To take care of my bloody nose. I get them quite often. And I passed out on the toilet. Blood everywhere. Some other kid comes into the bathroom, sees what's going on, and freaks the fuck out. They call the police. They call the ambulance. They show up. They wake me up with those smelling salt things, and I'm... Huh? And they go, what's your name? So it's Charlie. It's 1315278 What's your name? 131753283. It's my social security number. That's not my real social security number, by the way. I messed it up. I'm not going to give you my real social security number. But anyways, you don't want this. I don't have money. I don't have, I've bad credit. So, whatever. But, so I'm giving my social security number out to the cops and to the ambulance people. And then finally the male cop goes, "What's your name?" And I say, "It's Charlie, baby." Call him male cop, baby. And then every time I'm like, "What's up, baby?" They're asking me questions. I'm like, "Yeah, baby. I'm good, baby." Everything's ending with baby, whether they're male or female. I don't care. I was going at it. So they decided I signed off. I didn't want to go to the hospital. They just put me back in my room, and they said I would have to talk with the hall director the next day. So I'm waiting. I wake up, and I see the paperwork, and I'm like, fuck. Because I was underage. So I would have had to do X, Y, and Z, other bullshit, and have to pay all these fines and everything like that. So I was like, oh, God, what's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to me? I'm screwed. I'm going to get kicked out of college. I'm done. But luckily, our hall director got in trouble for dating an underage girl. It wasn't that bad. He was 21, she was 17, I think. But everybody was all freaking out. I mean, it's only, like a 4-year difference. But still, everybody's freaking out, going crazy because it's an underage girl and whatever. So the news came. I did an interview, actually, with the news. And I was like, I don't really care. It's getting me out of trouble. So in all the rigmarole of him getting fired and having to get a new person, they lost my paperwork. They lost my paperwork for what had happened. So every day I'm like waiting for them to call me. Waiting for them to call me down to the office. To have to go to this meeting and this board and do all this X, Y, and Z BS. It never happens. The whole semester goes by. Nothing. Next semester starts up. Got a new hall director, female this time. And she calls me into her office after like a month of the next semester, month or two, and says, "Alright, I see this happened last semester. I see you're into some trouble and we haven't been able to get to it in the time. You're not going to do it again, right?" And I was like, No, ma'am. No, I'm a good boy now. I am not going to do anything wrong that could get me in trouble. No, man. And she goes, "Okay. Let's get rid of this." And threw it all away. I went back to my room, collapsed. Because I was so happy. I was like, I lost out on $100 worth of fines, having to do one Alcoholics Anonymous program and some other BS they wanted me to do. All because their previous hall director diddled a girl. And it's not even that weird, actually, because they're married now, from what I hear. But that was years ago. Like I said, I'm 30. That was back when I was 18. So that's freshman year. That's what happened to me freshman year. That's one of the best stories. Coming up on the next episode, we're going to talk about a situation that happened to me during sophomore year. Very funny situation involving strange women. And vomit will occur. So please stay tuned. And if this was too long for you, I apologize. But I hope you enjoyed it. If you stuck around this long, hey, good on you. Let's keep on keeping on. As Joe Dirte says, life's a garden, dig it. And I'll see you guys next episode.